Lights, camera, action. Welcome to episode 91 of the Friday Podcast. And I am your host, Chris Chaos. Formerly Chris Chaos and other three numbers. Now you can look me up at Chris Chaos 214. So I'm mentally preparing to go back to work. It's always hardest to go back after a vacation, but I have to be blessed that I have and understand that I have the vacation to get the anxiety from not having to go to work. So it's good anxiety. But it's also kind of excitement, I guess it gets kind of boring being at home for 2 months straight. Kind of. Sorry, I'm eating cucumbers. So luckily, when I got COVID, I didn't lose my smell, taste, nothing like that. Thank God. Because I heard that's one of the trickiest mind fucks. One part of the biggest mind fucks. All right. Let's see. What are we in? 1 minute? I don't think I should just go automatically into the random questions. I mean, I do have several topics. Sorry for the dead air. Again, I'm recording outside just because my roommates are inside and I don't want to disrupt their shit. Shout out to Wu-Tang. Tangs for the kids. Rest in peace, ODB. I watched the first season. I tried to watch the second season, that first episode, but then partying and stuff, I was like, nah, this ain't what got me into the first season. It was their struggle, their lack of having anything, the comeuppance from nothing to something, rags to riches. But that first season on Hulu of the Wu-Tang, man, they show ODB really cool, Redman, Raekwon, it's dope. Very dope. All right, so 1951. Shout out to this book for random questions. What is your favorite brand of blue jeans? Well, I've never had that many different brands. When I was younger, I wanted Jinko, didn't get them. I got these called New Legends, I think. They were at Kids R Us back in the day. When there used to be a Toys R Us, before that there was a Kids R Us and they sold clothes. And that's where my mom used to get all my jeans. And I was like, no, I want some Jinkos, I want some, name brand. Eventually, when I got older, I started getting some South Poles, but I had to buy my own stuff. I think I had a couple Levi's. I would just wear whatever I could get if it looked different. So like I had gotten a pair of Levi's from my dad, and I used to starch them hoes up. Sharp. Looking crazy. But now, I'm gonna say, because I had a pair of Wranglers, but they kind of fell apart. But they're Walmart Wranglers for 20 bucks, so. And then I got some academic jeans that I love, but they're huge. Levi's. I'm gonna go with Levi's, though. It might be the 505s, but I'm not quite sure what number they are. But the slim straight ones, I found a style that and the quality's good. Those are my favorites. What are yours? If your office had a show and tell for adults, what thing would you be proud to display? Oh man. Show and tell for adults. Maybe my new EP. My new EP that came out in 2021. Still new to me. is the best, most positive music I've ever made. And going back, I had to delete all my TikTok songs from my old songs because of the cringe. I just don't represent that anymore. I'm gonna keep the music up on the YouTube page, but all the old music, I think I'm gonna just leave it in the past. Besides that music page and the SoundCloud page, it's there for people who want to listen to it. It's a big part of my life. Some of my favorite songs ever, but it just doesn't represent who I am now. So I might show them the EP or let them listen to one or two songs, clips. Maybe show them a clip from the podcast where I'm doing, what are my favorite, Badass Woman in History or something like that. But dang, I don't know if that's appropriate. What's appropriate for the I mean, you know, it depends on who you work with also. We're all adults, so it should be appropriate. I don't know. I don't really have a comic book collection anymore. Sold all the Pokemon cards. I only got one Harry Potter book to show them. Crystals. I got a lot. Well, I got several crystals. I guess showing them my presence on the internet. I don't know. What's your favorite type of casserole? I don't think that I particularly have a favorite type of casserole. And the only thing I can think of is tuna casserole, but it doesn't sound very good. I like tuna, you know, with a little bit of mayo and some hot sauce and some pickles chopped up in it. What makes you keep your distance from someone or something? Yo, if they're like, nah. Well, yeah, obviously, right? So if you see someone visibly sick, but see, when I'm kind of sick, I try to stay away from people. So, I mean, that gives them the like, oh, maybe we should stay away as well. But what makes you keep your distance from someone or something? Smells. You know, my big ass nose is sensitive to certain smells. So when someone smells like ass, I can't. Because, you know, some people just don't wipe. Hey, shout out to baby wipes. Just don't flush them down the toilet, okay? Okay? Get the sensitive ones, all right? It's good for you. Do you watch any cooking shows? Nope. Oh, I'm lying. There was a mini show from All Things Comedy on YouTube, and it had comedians cooking. So there was an episode with Bobby Lee and Crystalia. They had Bill Burr. Hilarious. Andrew Santino. Sorry. In what way are you too hard on yourself? Oh, man. In all the ways. In most ways, I usually feel, and I'm trying to combat this, I usually feel like it's not enough. I'm not good enough. Whether it comes to looks or music or podcasting or friends or being a good boyfriend or being a good dad or being a good son, I'm always feeling like I'm not what I should be. But I've been reading the Bible, and I've been reading the Urantia, which is ultimately my favorite book I think I've read. And it goes into, oh, this fucking fence, bro, I'm about to break it. Shut up, fence. Excuse me. The Urantia goes into the life of Jesus, and much, much more. Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to the creator of all. His Father. Our Father. And I don't even think it's a bad thing if you don't believe. I think that, you know, most people are inherently good. There are some things in the Bible where are questionable, but they needed to be done in order to create the religion. It was the soil that Christianity would grow from. So in the old days, in the Old Testament, they needed a vengeful, spiteful, jealous God to focus because they were so, we were so young as a people. We hadn't evolved mentally yet. To understand the concept of monotheism and to love each other as ourselves, it took millennia to get to this point. So let's not go back. So I'm trying not to be so hard on myself, Also, the movie Soul, it's a cartoon, but the purpose to exist is to live the human existence. So a lot of times the rat race is fucking with us. Am I right, Leo? It's unnecessary. Comparing ourselves to others doesn't work. Usually doesn't work in a good way. If you wanted to live off radar, do you mean off the grid? Where would you live? I don't know. Sounds kind of scary, man. I've thought about it before, of course. Well, look, my son lives with his mom most of the time. So it had to be somewhere not too far. And he lives in Dallas, so I gotta stay in Dallas. Or at least just outside of Dallas, I guess buy some land and get some animals and learn to farm and learn to grow vegetables and live off the land if I had to. But it would be in Texas. Ultimately, I think it would be in Texas. If you could read one person's mind, who would it be? Of course, you always want to be able to read the mind of your crush. What do they like me? What do they think about me? What do they like in a person? How can I make them happy? But a lot of times I think that would probably break your heart, or my heart, if I could just read the mind of my crush. Person I have a crush on, that would be ridiculous. But shout out to that movie with Mel Gibson. What was it called? What Women Want? That was crazy. I remember seeing that as a kid with my mom. Like, why am I watching this? So besides the woman that I like, my son, which it would freak him out. I mean, nobody wants their parents to be able to read their mind. It's unnatural. So I would want to read his or a cat. My pet, is that more uninvasive? I don't know, reading minds is pretty invasive. Can you do an impersonation of anyone? Yeah, I got you. New Yorker. I'm walking here. Hey, I'm walking here. All right. Pacino. Okay, I'm reloaded. I told you, don't fuck with me. Yep, those are all pretty bad. I could do an Italian. Italiano. Mamma mia. British. Wait, this is hard. Peaky fucking blinders, isn't it? Alright, what else? What other can I do in person of? I can't really do any specific people off the top of my head. So instead I just did a bunch of races. I'm so sorry. That's just all I know how to do. No offense. What was the most special handmade gift someone gave you? My son made when he was younger. He made me a card in school that they laminated for him. And on the front, it had like this pattern of birds. It was beautiful. And then on the other side is a poem that he wrote to me about that I'm smart, and it was so touching. That's my favorite thing that anybody's ever handmade for me. Besides that, I do also have this, which is pretty cool. Shout out to the iPod and the person, the lovely lady that made this. Also, well, I'm not gonna show that because that's dirty. Handmade. That's all I could think of. I mean, my son made me a lot of cool stuff. What did he make me? Did he? That's all I can think of right now. It's kind of fucked up. I tried to get him to make me more shit, but he's 14 now. He doesn't want to make more shit. Anyway, did you ever pretend? Did you ever have any pretend or imaginary friends? No. Which is surprising because of the trauma I had as a child. But I think that imaginary friend thing was kind of dying off with my generation. Again, evolution. I think you don't really hear kids talking about imaginary friends anymore. That was more of a 80s thing, 70s, you know. As far as I know, I could be completely wrong, but when I grew up, nobody really showed that they had an imaginary friend. They would just be like, hey, yo, this is Charles. Charles, hey, what's up, Charles? So I don't know. But I didn't. Now, my sister had, shout out to my sis, Yvette. She had Mickey, and she treated her like a fucking baby, like just everywhere. What are you a casual observer of? Man, observer of birds. I come out here, I see cardinals, blue jays, hummingbirds, woodpeckers, ducks, fucking egrets, cranes, what's the other one? Robins. I mean, it's just amazing. Birds, I love birds. But also any animal, Sometimes I even observe insects in there, you know. It's just interesting. I observe a little too much, even to the point where I'm driving and I get distracted sometimes. I'm like, I love being a passenger because I can just look at everything that I want to look at. But I guess I have ADD or something because it's so boring to just fucking look at the road stream. But that's what I have to do. Do you correct people's mistakes? It depends. I used to a lot. And I was probably very annoying. Actually, in fact, I was very annoyed about it. So I try not to do it that much because then in the end, it's like, who am I? Like, what kind of mistake are we talking about? Like, we talking about grammar? If it's grammar, I usually don't fuck with them. Yeah, I usually don't like, unless it's just something I know 100%, but even then, I'm like, oh, interesting. Because what I read, and I throw it in another way. But what technology are you excited about coming out? Well, dude, I'm tired of driving. I want to drive. I want to test this like a driver. So that's a good, but once it gets perfected, it's not perfected yet. Uh-oh, I hear the trash, man. Come on. We might have to pause. What's the last one? Because technology is kind of scary. I'm not really excited about any new technology. I'm actually fearful of the technology that may come. The robots, the fucking AI, Have you ever reconsidered a major decision you've ever made? You know what technology I'm most excited about? Healing cancer and diseases. Because, come on now, where's that shit at? Have you ever reconsidered a major decision you've ever made? If so, what? Yeah, every time. Doesn't everybody? Like, you think about the what would have happened, what could have happened, what you should have done, what you would have done. You fence. Anyway. All right. So, luckily we still have plenty of questions for plenty of episodes. After that, who knows what we'll do, but we got plenty. We are running out though. We've done a lot, but there's a lot of empty. A lot of things without checks. All right. Let me go ahead and let's move on to the next thing. Pardon me. Got the clean cows in the cup. Okay, anxiety news. Anxiety news with Christopher Chaos from MSN.com. One result of anxiety is that you pay more attention to the environment. Presumably, In our evolutionary history, this enabled early humans to detect the arrival of potential threats. These days, though, it raises awareness of additional factors that might help to predict what is going to happen. Although most work problems don't require physical strength, they do require mental energy in order to put in the hours required to address the issue. The motivational lift that a little anxiety can provide can be harnessed as you get to work. Your energy may also engage your teammates to help dig in. Other common result of anxiety is rumination, which is a tendency to engage in a cycle of thoughts about the issue that is the source of the stress. Over the long term, rumination can magnify your stress, and so you definitely want to have strategies to help you stop ruminating when it is not productive. But when it's good, sometimes that's how you figure out the problem. That's how you get the answer. However, if you're dealing with a complex puzzle at work, then your tendency to chew over the details of the project can work to your advantage. Let yourself continue thinking about the issue. Rather than doing it aimlessly though, start writing out what comes to mind. Use that to guide and focus your thoughts so that you can analyze the situation carefully. You'll still feel some stress and anxiety while you're thinking, but at least you're using your energy to make progress. Very good. No, I'm gonna pick that up, sorry. My bad. Interesting. Moving on. Okay, so an animal that I haven't done yet that I saw a few months ago. Very cute animal. It was a baby goat, a kid. It was at an environment center that I went on in my job, and this goat was loose, and it got out. And it was like chilling, and then it went to us, and it was letting us pet him, and it was like trying to eat my backpack, and it was kind of crazy, but it was cute. And I was like, yo, so I haven't done it yet, so I just saw a bird. So, symbolism of a goat. When you see a goat, animalhype.com says goats are the perfect symbol of curiosity. Interesting. Or of the hunger for knowledge. Another bird, sorry. Ambition. Unlike other fellow cattle animals, sheep, cows, etc., that are content with grazing grass, goats are more of a browser. They are always trying to get to the branches of the trees to feed on the leaves. Spirit-animals.com says that most compelling goat meaning message is that the sky is the limit. In other words, allow yourself to reach for lofty goals. The only one stopping you is yourself. Therefore, you should believe in your power and move forward with your life. Occasionally, goat symbolism will be a reminder of your inflated ego. PetNewsLive.com says, have you ever heard the expression stubborn as a goat? For them, they cannot just, skip one. The goat is a force to be reckoned with. These animals are infamous for their tenacity and stubbornness. When facing a goat's horns, this trait may seem annoying or dangerous, but it is also a sign of great fortitude and perseverance. Goats just don't quit. Kind of more like a sheep. AngelicalBalance.com says that goats are a symbol of how one can trust their intuition. For them, they cannot just eat anything. That's why they need to test first before eating. Goats are intelligent, which helps them know that something is unsuitable for them. Typically, goats remind you why listening to your inner voice is essential. DreamsZodiac.com says that the goat may also be considered as a symbol of good and peace. The sight or appearance of a goat could also be a strong message that you need to start new endeavors and new climbs. It speaks into strategy and patience in planning and implementing. The type of goat that appears also matters in interpretation, this says, but I don't know. I guess that's if you're dreaming about it, you can go more for that at dreamszodiac.com. Miller's Guild says that the goat symbolizes the fact that you are flexible, the fact that you need to help balance your life. You may need to explore yourself more. Be determined. You are powerful and fearless. A sign of peace, as we said. You have high goals. Be free. You are frugal, which is a good thing. Don't be stubborn. Conclusion. What does the goat symbolize? You are flexible, intelligent, and awesome. Okay, moving on. Let me finish the rest of this water in this one. Moving on. All right. So next week, I think I'm gonna do 7-11. But this week, 939. Angelnumber.org says 939 often indicates a happy and joyful period in your romantic life. Prepare yourself for some adventure. You might experience a trip with your partner or interesting romantic encounters with people who could potentially become your partner. The Secret of the Tarot.com says that 939 is a clear message from the angels that you need to love and be kind to people you encounter in your life. There are moments in life when you'll feel like being nasty. This guy right here. Yesterday I took a nap, had a nightmare, and I woke up and I was just like in a bad mood. And I was like, calm yourself, Chris, before you interact with anybody. However, the angels want you to know that they are here to support you. They'll provide you with the spiritual guidance you need to pull through. Sunsigns.org. 939 signifies that you have the opportunity to recreate yourself and step up to become someone great in the community. So another bird, not really my eyes. Besides, see, ADD, it's gotta be ADD or something. Besides, you can rise above your limits if you can allow your positive attitude to drive you. More so, you have to work as a champion and organize your work as a real leader. AngelManifest.com says that 939 means it's over, but the high dimensional existence set up under the surface so that new things would start as soon as you wish. Number 9 starts immediately, even if it starts and ends. And 3 is Ascension Master, high dimensional existence of former human beings. Interesting, this one's out there. Individualogist.com says that 939 is a strong combination of highly spiritual single-digit angel numbers. In a specific sequence, 9 and 3 come together to create a unique meaning specifically for what you're going through. It's important to note, look, I think this is my best side. Some people tell me this is my best side. This is probably my best side. And unique specifically for what you're doing. It's important to note that 9 appears twice, therefore doubling its influence on the sacred number. Better Numerology, that one didn't really give me an answer. BetterNumerology.com says that 939 carries a message urging you to expel negative energy from your life. Expel the negative energy from your life. Elevate your thoughts and take charge of the direction in which your life is moving. Your spiritual guides want you to exercise your natural abilities and work towards achieving your dreams. TrustedPsychicMediums.com says that 939 is before anything else a symbol of positivity. Your guardian angels are urging you to maintain positivity in your thought process and try to curb the negativity that creeps into your mind. In order to envision a successful future, you need to make room for positive energies to flow into your life. Get that right, Leo Cat. All right. Now, I'm gonna do, this is, actually I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break, my friends, and I'll be right back after this. right.
Or is that or something?
Second half of the episode. Ooh. So, today, we are going to talk about a movie that's kind of old, if you ask. Yo, the wiki page for Dirty Work, the movie, for Norm Macdonald, the Norm Macdonald, Artie Lang, Chris Farley, Bob Saget directed it, Adam Sandler, Gary Coleman, they were all in it. Excuse me. The wiki is fucked up. And I'll get to that in a second. But this is what I wrote. Okay, now it's free on YouTube, so check it out. And I wrote a little paragraph. Shout out to YouTube for putting this movie out for free. Someone there honors the late, great Norm Macdonald. This movie has Chris Farley, like I said, Adam Sandler, Gary Coleman, and Chevy Chase. It's hilarious, laugh out loud, funny. The story is simple and predictable, but it is really cool seeing all these legends looking like they're having a blast. And it's a time capsule from the late 90s comedy heyday. Bob Saget also directed this movie, and one starts to wonder why so many great comics have passed. But such is life, and the fact that they were hilarious may be non-consequential. I know after their passing, their personalities remained in their soul, and they made those in the afterlife laugh. Norm Macdonald is, I think, my favorite comedian ever. He isn't a great actor, but that's also what makes the movie fun. I forgot to mention Artie Lang, another legend. So, that's my take on it. As far as movie goes, I mean, it's like a 3.7. I think that's being pretty kind. Maybe a 4. But right here it says that this is from Wikipedia. A 1998 American buddy black comedy film, which I don't know why they put a buddy black comedy film. Gary Coleman's in it. I mean, there's other black people in it, but it just fucked up on there. Based on the short story Vengeance is Mine Incorporated by Roald Dahl, which is cool because I didn't even know it was a book. See, Norm Macdonald, he is intelligent. He would read a lot of books. He wrote books. So for this being based on a book, I'm not surprised. The film follows longtime friends Mitch, which is Norm Macdonald, and Sam, Artie Lang, who started Revenge for Hire business. Are they coming over here? Who the fuck is that driving so fast? Oh, it's a garbage truck. Man, they're just loud. Talk about dirty work. So they started Revenge for Hire business and worked to fund heart surgery for Sam's father, played by Jack Warden. When they take on work for an unscrupulous businessman, but the businessman is Christopher McDonald. I didn't know that was his name. He plays a lot of villains. But Rickler's in it. Don Rickler, I think is his name. Don Rickles. Sorry. In order to be paid, they create a revenge scheme of their own. Trailer Howard also stars, and notable cameo appearances include Don Rickles, Rebecca Romijn, John Goodman, Gary Coleman, Chevy Chase, David Koechner, Chris Farley, in his final film appearance. Sorry guys about the loud ass. There's 3 trucks, right? All going on my street. And here they come getting the trash, so I'm gonna have to pause. Ay. It was filmed in Ontario, Canada. I guess I'm gonna take a break and then we'll come back with some facts about dirty work. Boom, let's get back to it. Facts about dirty work. I was just thinking about people with the headphones in, but then this probably shouldn't pick up as much as my voice will pick up. It just sounds louder to me because I'm right here, but if it did, I'm sorry. I will do better. No more little scratchy noises on there. So, facts. It was the directorial debut of Saget. Film was the first starring vehicle for McDonald and Lang. So Dirty Work received largely negative critical reviews upon its 1998 release and was a financial disappointment, which is not surprising. It has since become a cult classic and has been repraised more positively by some critics. Co-star Artie Lang later became a regular on the Howard Stern show, where the film was sometimes discussed. It was filmed at Wycliffe College somewhere around Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It was produced for an estimated $13 million. I'm sure most of the money went to Don Rickles and Adam and John Goodman and Gary Coleman and Chevy Chase. Those were heavy hitters. According to Chase, he was impressed by the original script's raunchy, R-rated, over-the-top tone, particularly film, but ultimately cut gag involving McDonald and Lang delivering donuts that had been photographed around their genitals. And Lang related went so far as to beg McDonald not to allow any changes to keep it funny. Lang said the studio insisted on a PG-13 rating and moved the film's release from the February dump months to June, where it fared poorly against blockbusters like Godzilla. Man, it's like they wanted it to fail. If they would have let the art be the art, it would have been bigger than it is today. During production, Norm Macdonald was embroiled in a feud with Don Omen. See, this is bullshit because it's a big hawk. I've heard interviews with Norm Macdonald, and he never hated on the dude. There was never a beef. There was no embroiled feud. But the fact remains, Allmeyer was a friend of OJ, who coincidentally supposedly took offense to McDonald's frequent and pointed jokes about Simpson on Weekend Update. If you go on YouTube and look up Norm Macdonald, oh my goodness, it's hilarious. Everything's hilarious. And also he has some deep ass conversations. Like, I'm talking philosophical fucking conversations. Here comes the dump truck again. Damn, so Chris Farley, that was his last released film appearance, filmed before his fatal drug overdose in December of '97. MGM released the film on DVD in August '99. Alright. So it's dope. I like it. Check it out. Not the greatest movie in the world, obviously. It's a stupid movie. But if you liked such classics as Big Daddy and Grandma's Boy and Happy Gilmore, shit like that. What's the other one? It's funny. It's silly. It's a good time. Check it out. All right. Moving on. Hopefully we don't get interrupted by board trash trucks. Badass woman of history. Valentina Vladimirovna Tereshkova, born March 6, 1937, is an engineer, member of the... So the reason I'm bringing her up, so this is going to sound weird, but she's the first woman in space. Excuse me. She orbited the Earth 48 times, spent almost 3 days in space, and remains the only woman to have been on a solo space mission. Why don't we know about her? Valentina Tereshkova. Let's see. What do I want to read from this? She's still alive. She's in the politics in Russia. Now I'm not condoning. I don't know her position on anything of what the current situation in Russia and Ukraine is, so I'm just going back in time for a second. She was the first woman on space. So she had not held any previous desire to go to space, and it was her experience in skydiving that would contribute to her selection as a cosmonaut. After the flight of Yuri Gagarin in 1961, Nikolai Kamanin, director of cosmonaut training, read in American media that female pilots were training to be astronauts. In his diary, he wrote, "We cannot allow that the first woman in space will be American. This would be an insult to the patriotic feelings of Soviet women." Approval was granted for 5 female cosmonauts in the next group, which would begin training in 1963. To increase the odds of sending a Soviet woman into space first, the women cosmonauts began training before the men. The rules require that the potential cosmonaut be a parachutist under 30 years of age, less than 5 foot 7 inches in height, no more than 154 pounds. And by 1962 of January, the All-Union Voluntary Society for Assistance to the Army, Air Force, and Navy has selected 400 candidates for consideration. After the original screening, 58 of those candidates met the requirements, which Kamanin reduced to 23. On February 16th, 1962, Aquarius season, Tereshkova was selected along with 4 other candidates to join the female cosmonaut corps. But I guess, in the end, she was the only one to go all the way. So shout out to her for being the first woman in space. And the only woman to be a solo mission in space, right? Is that what I read? Yeah. Fucking badass. Damn, I need to bring my, if y'all want, I finished up my comic book, and I just started drawing on sheets again. Which I don't know, I think I like drawing in the comic books better because of the format. Because these are all just kind of like random. There's no form, but in a way that's kind of beautiful in itself. It's just different. Yesterday was a cool day because it was 727. It's random. And I wrote a couple flows. So this one is pretty interesting. Just 7 lines. A great evening in the universe. Enjoying living, being human first. Premier mission living on this earth. Admission God the Father's work. It's perfect in the bigger picture. I'm searching in the bigger scripture. But you can find it in the smallest flower. Awed in God and all his power. Mercy, love, and constant showers. Blessings, family, friends, ours. Souls have grown, matured, and blossomed. Careful words can make us awesome. What would Jesus do is true. Think about it with the crew. Hey. Man, I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming back. Thank y'all for subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing. And it is caring. Sharing is caring. This is it. Well, awkward. Okay. Another bird. Mockingbird this time. Mockingbirds. I forgot to say mockingbirds. Check out, all the playlists. Check out the Odd Pod. Check out my music page if you want. You don't have to. It's okay. But the EP is where it's at. Dark Days, Bright Nights. Yeah, I think that's it, man. Shout out to the Wu-Tang. I love y'all.